Do. And yeah, we can. Do.
What the hell just happened there?
I don't know what happened there.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
I'm sliding out of frame. Oh, and you know what? I failed at my one job.
Okay, as soon as you sit back down, I'll try to slide you back into frame. See,
Okay.
actually, I'm going to do it this way.
That should be okay. Whatever.
Sufficient. We have achieved sufficiency.
Yes. Good enough for government work.
Oh, I'm glad this isn't government work.
Me too. But apparently there would be benefits and we would be hard to fire.
Yeah, almost impossible to fire. I didn't plan on talking about the deep state this morning.
No. Actually, you and I would be easy to fire because we are for
straight white male.
Oh, no, bro. But and we're effectively Christian straight white males. We would be. We get fired for like looking at somebody the wrong way.
I only eat mayonnaise and kale.
Ew. I don't know what that's a reference to. And I like kale, but that...
It's a reference to a song called Straight White Male.
Okay, I guess I'm going to have to...
Tom McDonald's song, Straight White Male. I hate myself. I only eat mayonnaise and kale. Shotguns and crack are both, or shotguns and meth are both on sale. I'm going to have to treat myself. Oh yeah. Go check that one out, and you'll laugh your head off. It's hilarious. Okay, so we've got 3 articles we want to kind of chew on this morning.
4.
And 4?
Oh no, 3.
Yeah,
I sent you another.
That's just Twitter.
I thought I sent you.
I only saw 2.
There should be 3. Yeah.
You sent another one out.
Yeah. Let's start with the fun one, and then we can take the 3 economic ones together as a package.
Okay, so I like that.
I would call it the fun one, but
go ahead and strip that. And we're trying something a little different today. I just installed a plugin that strips all the ads and everything away and centers up the text on articles, so it should look a little cleaner. In fact, I think I may have just surpassed Tim Pool's production value in this regard.
So we're not going to get distracted by the stories on the right corner.
There's not going to be some random butt gun over here.
Honey badger bites off woman's toes. Whoa, I wish we were covering that story.
Dumb broad gets eyes tattooed purple. Doesn't work out.
Yeah, and now I'm going blind. No, really? Maybe don't tattoo your eyeball.
So this article comes to us from The Blaze, but it's actually in reference to a Washington Post article. And we're not going to bother with the original article. We're going to get a chuckle out of the lampooning of it. Dude, this is one of those, this is getting ratioed and down commented.
This is one of those why'd they hide the dislike button things.
Yeah, it's right up there with Jennifer Lawrence saying, nobody ever puts women in action. Nobody's ever put a woman in a lead role in an action film before.
Like, you have to wonder, like, how is the bubble possible? Especially when you're in Hollywood, right? Which has had female action stars before. But I mean, both on television and in movies. Like, there's that whole, like, Buffy ran for, like, what, 7 seasons?
You forgot Buffy? Yeah, 7 seasons. Buffy got 7 seasons.
And a movie.
And it got the movie first.
Yeah. Christy Swanson, yum yum.
Yep. You got Alien, the series. I mean, what were there? How many Alien movies was she in?
4
of them. That's
Sigourney Weaver, and who goes through like a full-blown character arc, and Princess Leia. Like,
okay, so there's a fair argument to be made against Leia as an example there, just because Leia was not necessarily the leading lady in that film. She was the leading lady in that film, but she wasn't the main lead character in the Star Wars films. She was a primary character, but she wasn't the one.
Well, and
like,
there would be.
She wasn't Ripley. She wasn't Lara Croft.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Part 3 got canceled recently. I wonder why. How do you, man? So, like, the first one, while not the greatest movie of all time, was actually pretty good. I thought it was a clever way to flip all the tropes and have the male be the fish out of water and the object of romantic interest and all that. Like, that was funny. And then the second one was like weird wish fulfillment.
I didn't even see the second one.
So it's not surprising that
it came out after I gave up.
It came out after you gave up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. So anyhow, long story short, there have been a couple of female action heroes.
Yeah. When Black Panther came out, they made a big deal about there's never been a black superhero movie, and we're like, okay, I'll give you Steel wasn't great, but Blade
was good. Had a lot of style.
Yeah.
It was a very well-defined movie.
And the sequels, Blade 2 and 3, not... Actually, Blade 2 was pretty damn good. Blade 3 didn't quite
sucked.
hold up.
No, Blade 3 sucked.
But it was still fun. It was almost
fun,
but not
if you
quite Snakes on the Plane fun.
It was fun if you forgot you were watching a Blade movie.
Fair enough. Blade 2 was awesome. The vampire eating super vampires.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyhow.
So, speaking of ridiculous claims, Shark Week is too white and too male, study finds, and the mockery that ensues is bloody hilarious.
How do you study that?
It's good you should ask. They mentioned that. So Shark Week, that beloved TV special that sinks its teeth into everything shark-related each summer,
I can tell
has
this
joined the ever-growing conga line of familiar things woke folks insist are actually racist and sexist. What are the details? The Washington Post on Monday highlighted a recent public Library of Science study claiming that Shark Week, among other things, overwhelmingly featured white men as experts, including several with the same name. David Schiffman, a conservationist at Arizona State University and co-author of the study, told the Post that Discovery's Shark Week indeed included more white experts and commentators named Mike than women. Okay.
So real quick, we were talking about female heroes. Your dad, he He killed it.
Baywatch. Now, in fairness, I think all the hot Bettys in Baywatch were playing second fiddle to the Hoff, but
oh yeah, David Hasselhoff was in that show. I don't remember a single plot from that show, like ever.
I
know that I watched it. Oh, I did.
Oh, did you? I don't think I ever did.
Dude, it was slow motion runs down the beach. Like it was.
Oh, so it was like Jimmy Kimmel's first show. With the trampolines.
Right.
That's right, Kimmel. We remember
The Man Show.
Shitburger. Although, hey, Kimmel was ahead of his time, man. I mean, he got out there on the street with a table and a sign-up sheet and was convincing women to sign a petition against women's suffraging. Ahead of his time.
Shark Week. Let's
When there are hundreds of people of color interested who work in this field, and when my field is more than half women, maybe it's not an accident anymore that they're only featuring white men, Schiffman added to the paper. Okay.
Are we sure it's not Wednesday and this is a Woke Wednesday segment?
I mean, if I had seen, I read this article late yesterday, so this is I first saw it yesterday. I don't see a date on it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're missing.
But no, I got it. I got you. And we really needed to cover the thing yesterday. The paper said Discovery didn't respond to its request for comment on the study, although the channel did tell WBTS in Boston after preliminary findings came to light in 2021 that it wouldn't comment on a study that has yet to pass any scientific approvals. Whitenack, however, told the Post, yeah.
What an unfortunate name for this story.
Told the Post the study has since undergone a scientific review. Yes, I'm sure it was reviewed by the peers. You know, the ones that peer reviewed and published a rebranded excerpt from Mein Kampf.
Look, scientists and TV critics bit down hard on Shark Week. In 2020, the paper said, for featuring 6 white men out of 8 named experts, Whitenack told the Post her team's study, which also commenced in 2020, found that throughout almost all of the history of Shark Week, 90% of the 229 experts were white and about 78% were men. The year of criticism isn't so surprising as readers of the blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. All right, so I am reminded, and had I not been working a lot these past few days, I'm going to find the clip, and I can't even remember the name of the comedian, okay? But just a black comedian is talking about the difference between, like, white people and black people, and one of the, like, shark cage diving. That is not a thing invented by black people. That is some bona fide white people bullshit right there. Like, oh, you see that big 14-foot fish that could bite you in half? So what we're going to do is we're going to put you in this relatively flimsy cage in the water with it, and it's going to be great. Hell no, you're not. Okay? But all jokes aside, this is one of those things where... Like, can you picture this? Okay, like a group of people sitting around a business table and be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Not only are we gonna have Shark Week, and is this just gonna be one of the most popular segments on the channel ever of all time? But it's gonna be all white and all male, and we're gonna make sure they're all named Mike. It's brilliant. Screw those colored people. Like, this is so stupid.
Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs posted a rather funny reaction on Facebook Wednesday. Good morning. As a white male named Mike who's hosted Shark Week more than once, this headline caught my eye in the Washington Post. Shark Week lacks diversity. Overrepresents men named Mike, study finds. I suspect I might be asked to respond specifically to this headline. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Unless, of course, you're a white guy named Mike. I think we've all heard quite enough from you.
But this is the kind of shit that pushes people to the right.
Yeah.
This is exactly what this is. Okay, and I hate to point out the super obvious. No, I don't. I love pointing out the super obvious thing. Shark Week is diverse AF. Shark Week is so diverse, it went through a period where it was even running false stories as part of Shark Week just to continue with new content for Shark Week.
I actually don't know about that.
Yeah, dude, they had stuff like the voodoo shark, and I wish I was kidding. Okay?
The voodoo shark?
Yes.
Oh, I suddenly wish I knew more about Shark Week.
Wait, no, scroll down, because that's a little bit. There we go. It's. See, Shark Week's so white, even the goddamn great whites, man. It just.
What the hell? Okay, come on. We'll just pull it up over here.
Yeah. Whoops.
It's a faster
Wow, it's a
and more persistent
3-minute
approach,
clip.
snapping several times at the bait.
Using lots of different strategies at the moment, but a lot of power and good.
You know what? I'll be fair.
But
They do like to talk about the great white. Only the white shark is great, my friend.
And they're lying. That shark's clearly melanated.
Oh,
So when the great white shark got its name, like, you realize where somebody had to be, right? Because it's only white from the underside.
Yep.
When you're looking down on it, oh, that's a great gray shark. I don't want to know what the other part of it looks like at all. Can you picture how bad...
when you're fighting a fish and it has the high ground, human, my friend, you have committed an error.
Yeah, can you picture how bad, like, the first sailors shit their pants when they saw, like, a great white breach for the first time? It's like, oh, hey, let's catch some of those seals. We need more fat for our lamps. Holy fuck! No! Get out of here! Pray to Jesus right now!
God, you may not help me now, but please don't help that bear.
Okay, like,
So
they're running out of shit to wokify. Like, seriously.
I actually saw a meme yesterday, and it was like a still capture of some like TED Talk type of thing. You would charts and graphs all over the place, and the caption said, "Experts warned that we're 6 months away from running out of things to criticize for wokeness." oh, if only.
Well, okay, and slippery slope fallacy, blah, 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 ha, 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 yeah. But, dude, it just doesn't stop. In fact, it appears to be accelerating. It's almost like a slippery slope.
Oh,
Like, I mean, we entertain this nonsense, okay? And, you know, we've reached a certain point, and I really think that it was the election of Barack Obama that did it, okay? Because once you've had the first black president, no, I don't care. Like, oh,
yeah,
well, you're
everything else after that, you're just grasping for straws.
Yeah, you're gonna be
pretending to be the first woman action hero.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Stacey Abrams was going to be the first black female governor from Georgia, was.
And that's done. Well, you know, and you go back. So I'm glad you brought it up that way. We talked about this before, but there was that show Hidden Figures, that movie Hidden Figures, about the handful of black women that were
that did the math,
that were mathematicians
for NASA. Yeah, good for them.
For NASA, and they're like, you know, and it's called Hidden Figures, and it may have been a fantastic film, but the ad campaign was all about how nobody knows about the people of color, and especially the women of color that were involved with the moon landing. Oh, people only know about the white guys. Like, yeah, because you had a handful of white guys who got on the freaking thing and went to the moon, took an extraordinary risk, and accomplished a huge thing. And there was a massive team involved with doing the math, with doing the engineering, with building the machines, with getting the job done. Most of you can't even name the third guy.
Yeah, and
so the idea that, oh, well, it's, you don't know about these hidden figures because racism, and no, you don't know about these hidden figures because you don't know the name of every person that worked on every big historic project. You know the name of the face of the project.
Alex, yeah, I imagine, Alex says, I imagine a lot of this has to do with the fact that black guys ain't getting in the water with a fucking shark. Yeah, that probably has a little something to do with it.
Dude, when I first got stationed in Hawaii, I went to lunch with a handful of NCOs that outranked me, and they all outranked me substantially. There were 2 black guys and 2 Puerto Rican guys, and I didn't know these guys from Adam. They were all higher ranking than me. I was a little specialist. Just got to the island, went out to lunch, and they're talking about swim PT for people who are injured who can't run. And Sergeant Hudge, black guy, dark black guy that made jokes about you can only see my teeth in the dark, black guy, says, I know how to swim. I stay my black ass out the pool. And I'm sitting here at this table with these other soldiers. I'm the only white guy in the room. I was like, I don't even know if I can laugh at that. And outside of uniform in any other situation, I'd have laughed my ass off at that joke coming from a black guy. But sitting there in uniform, being beaten over the head every day by the whole... And, this is 15 years ago almost. And it was already, if you look too white, we'll throw your ass out with a dishonorable discharge, was a big part of the Army culture. That has only gotten worse. Wow, I did not expect we were going to milk 15 or 20 minutes out of that particular article.
Well, it was...
it was fun, though.
It was fun. It was fun. But look. As I was saying before, this way big tangent happened there, that I really think Barack Obama becoming the first black president broke it. I really do. Yeah. Because after that, it's like, when you climb to the top of Everest, it's not that like climbing El Capitan is not impressive, but how many people can tell me what state El Capitan is in without Googling it?
I'm actually not one of those people.
See, there you go. I only know because it's referenced in a Star Trek movie. That's correct. Everything I know about life, I learned from Star Trek. So, yeah. So, anyhow, now the more serious 3 stories. Man, it might not have...
For 7 minutes? We just keep talking about die.
Well, the economy. The economy sucks, and we're having a temporary break in how bad the economy sucks because, it's only going to get worse, and it's going to conveniently get worse now that the Republicans control the House.
Not the Senate.
Not the Senate. Not even 50-50 on the Senate. Did you donate to Herschel?
Yes, I voted for him.
Did you and
I went to his events.
Well, no, the donations were what was important. Raphael Warnock not only outspent him, but spent more intelligently as well. Warnock penetrated into the eyeballs of the voters. Even the stupid people that I'm going to say associate with on a daily basis. Even they were aware of the fact that Herschel tried to murder his wife.
I bet they weren't aware of the fact that Warnock... God, we've only got 5 minutes of show left. I can't list all of the trash that Warnock did.
No, they're not. But I mean, the long story short,
actively defending
Warnock
child rapists.
Spent more and... Stop it, Steve. Warnock spent more intelligently. So yeah, the economy is not good, and it's going to keep being not good. And next year, it's going to be a whole lot less not gooder.
I was just going to say it's going to be not good or. Well, you know what? In fact, given that, let's just skip over this one and. Okay, we got two here. Which one did we want? I opened the same one twice.
I might have accidentally said. Okay, well then let's just go with that one.
Yeah,
there we go.
work.
Wall Street Journal, an authoritative source.
Yeah. Wall Street chorus grows louder, warning that 2023 will be ugly.
You think?
Okay, I need that to go away.
I mean, when a dozen eggs costs almost $3, yeah.
Investors appear to be heeding the warnings following a 2-month rally. The S&P 500 index has fallen in all but one of the last 8 sessions and dropped 1.4% on Tuesday. Equity strategists historically the market's biggest cheerleaders are now predicting a down year in 2023, and the red flags are being waved in the wake of wage and services data that suggested inflationary forces still grip the economy. They suggested that inflationary forces still grip the economy.
Tell me you're in the fucking bubble without telling me you're in the fucking bubble. It suggests that inflationary force. Meanwhile, like, yeah, there you go. Your mom, dozen eggs, $4 at Aldi. And when shit's expensive at Aldi, you know things have gone wrong. Aldi's where you go when you don't want things to be expensive. Aldi's
Just magic. A little over 2 years ago, a dozen eggs at Aldi was $1. $1.12,
99 cents, $1.19, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
Gallon of milk for $2 in that area.
Yeah, give or take. And now it's all double and triple. But we should eat healthy. We should eat, not processed bullshit. Ramen is bad for you. Except
it's 37 cents a metric ton.
Well, no, even ramen's
Since
gone
1912.
up. Even ramen's gone up.
To 39 cents a metric ton.
Sean Stryker's complaining about the price of eggnog. Make your own. And if you don't think you could do it, you're wrong, okay? The alcohol I forget the name of the chemical process, but it helps kill all the bacteria. Make your own. Quit bitching. But look,
I think we've stalled here.
Well, I mean, we can go back and actually here. Good. Can we go back? I'll actually read it. Watch
Go
this.
for it.
Focus. In the Federal Reserve's quiet period before its officials meet to decide their final actions this year, Wall Street watchers are filling the void, loudly warning that next year's outlook for the U.S. economy and stocks is grim. From Goldman Sachs Group, Inc., David Solomon cautioned that, Jesus Christ, they cautioned that the economy faces bumpy times ahead to J.P. Morgan Chase and Company's Jamie Dimon grimmer view that this would be a mild to hard recession, and Morgan Stanley Wealth Management Lisa Chalet, who told Bloomberg Television that corporations are facing a rude awakening on earnings. The messages have become increasingly dire. We do not think economic conditions for a sustained upturn are yet in place. Chief Investment Officer at UBS Global Wealth Management wrote in a note, growth is slowing and central banks are still raising rates. Investors appear to be heeding the warnings. Following a 2-month rally, the S&P 500 index has fallen in all but one of the last 8 sessions and dropped 1.4% on Tuesday. Equity strategists historically...
This is the first paragraph that I read earlier.
Yeah, so basically... unsurprisingly, the experts have begun to notice that there are problems in the economy. And one of the other metrics that was really interesting is that some 200,000 people that bought a house recently are already underwater on the house that they just recently purchased.
Yeah.
Now, look, when you buy a house, you're supposed to buy a house and stay there for at least 5 years. If you're not prepared to stay in that house for 5 years, don't buy that house. However, it's one thing to choose to stay in the house for 5 years. It's another thing entirely to be stuck there for 5 years because you're underwater in your mortgage, right? Because the person you bought the house from doesn't have to give you the difference back. Oh, I'm sorry, you paid me $250,000 for this house, and now it's only worth $231. Yeah, oops. Might want to look at how much money you need to throw on top of your mortgage every month so that you can start to catch up to your principal, because your ratios are off. And the other thing that we were going to talk about that ties this all in is this cute little article that was like, hey, gas prices are now, they're lower today than they were a year ago.
After months in which gasoline prices in the United States have been one of the most visible symbols of inflation, they have a new distinction. Prices at the pump are now lower than they were a year ago. A year ago, they were more than double.
Yeah, a year ago...
What they were a year before that. So.
Yeah, a year ago, you were in jail. This year, you're only on probation.
And so here's the thing about that. When we're talking about gas prices right now, and you look at gas prices a year ago, which were more than double what they were a year prior to that.
Not quite. No, can't be.
Yeah.
The math doesn't work. But anyhow, I'm sorry, keep going. But
yes. But when you're talking about those numbers, this is kind of a unique period in which to be discussing those numbers, because it's not as if there are external factors that are completely outside the control of our government and the administration. They're literally the direct result, the predictable and obvious direct result of the explicit overt actions of the current administration and government. Joe Biden took office and immediately shut down domestic oil production in a significant way, and simultaneously began ramping up funding for foreign oil production, leading directly to the Ukraine crisis.
now, Chris, that Keystone Pipeline was designed to sell gas to other countries, not to us. How dare you lie in such a way? Don't act like oil is a global market.
It is a global market.
Have you bumped into that argument where they're like, well, the Keystone XL Pipeline was designed to sell gas to other countries, not to us? And like, dudes, how do you not understand how this works?
That argument would be adorably underinformed if the only issue were him shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. And given that it's only one of the several things he did to shut down domestic oil production, like when you run into one of these lefties that starts talking about how the Keystone Pipeline isn't relevant to oil prices generally because I'm a dumbass leftist that doesn't understand that oil is in fact a global market, like you realize that the pipeline is like the least of our worries. We were talking about oil land leases and drilling rights and production capacities. Like, the pipeline was a problem, and a huge problem. And it's a huge problem dwarfed by several other related failures.
Speaking of failures, have you heard that?
Partial lost?
Dude, that's a whole thing that we're probably just going to have to come back and do an extended discussion on, because there's a lot going on there, and I'm just, and yes, Herschel lost. I don't think this is amphibious priapism. Every other statewide race, the Republican won by 200,000 to 300,000 votes. It is what it is. But, no, have you heard that the Northeast might actually run out of gas? See, like, the Northeast basically has a shared grid for all of that energy. Dude, I've never lived in Maine, but you have.
Yep.
Is running out of gas what you want to do in January in Maine?
Nope.
Well, hey,
nope.
Hey, look. Good news is
we had these gas tanks at the houses.
Good news is
fueled the heating systems. And the year we moved away from Maine, there was a massive winter storm, and it got so cold that the metal of those tanks busted, and all that gas spilled out in the street in the military housing. And about the same time, it just happened that all the snowfall caused a few power lines to go down and light the streets on fire.
Well, that's one way to keep
It was
warm.
right after we left.
There's one way to keep warm.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, won't work for more than a day or two. Reminds me of that scene in Alive where they burn the guy's guitar. They're like, how come you couldn't play the fucking cello? But yeah, the economy's going to collapse. I really did not think we'd get so much mileage out of a silly story about sharks. I thought this was going to be the thing we were going to chew into, but nope, I guess not. But you guys all know that the economy is in for some pain, right? I say some pain. It's going to be bad.
It's in the toilet and it's getting worse.
Yeah, circle in the bowl, so as it were.
And now that the Dems have 51 in the Senate and get to
Control
make all the
committees.
Yep, they get to control.
Hey,
the
but
committees.
guess what? I hate to be super fucking cynical about it, but here we go. The Republicans have enough juice in the House. They're going to investigate Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
They're going to investigate him, y'all. It's going to be great. They're going to investigate Hunter Biden.
It's going to be like when they investigated Hillary Clinton.
Well, no, actually, I say that this time if they actually find something out about Hunter Biden and it gets on Twitter,
It might hang around.
it might, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's the show today, guys. Y'all be safe out there. We love
Come
you.
back
We'll
for the
see you
guns
tomorrow.
Come back for the guns.
Come back for the guns.